So, how does one become a female sensual empowerment coach?
So for me, everything that I teach is something that I've had to learn.
Right.
So I think most of us don't know how to love ourselves. And for me, you know, just having a childhood where there was a lot of pain and a lot of, you know, my heart was closed, I felt awkward in my own skin, and I was an ugly duckling in school. Everyone
Really?
knows. Yes.
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
Were you tall and skinny?
I was skinny, lanky, I had braces. People made fun of me all the time. Literally, it was a private school with 30 kids. And I was the one that they made fun of every day. And can you imagine being that kid that everyone made fun of? And I felt like come into class and I was so awkward. And these kids were mean. This was a Catholic private school. And, you know, I don't share this story a lot. But you know, there was one incident when I was younger, they decided to call me this name. And when I think about it, I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna cry. But,
They called you a banana?
No. They called me this mean name, and so everyone decided to call me that name, and like nobody wanted to be friends with me.
That's horrible.
I know.
What grade is this?
This was mostly through grade school and up until 8th grade, and then, you know, part of it when I went to a new school.
That's horrible.
It was horrible. So for me, I was like the outcast.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know how to play. I didn't enjoy my body. And just thinking about it right now, like, tears.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was hard.
Yeah.
I just have to give myself a moment.
Sure.
Yeah. So this is what I teach, is because I had to learn this.
Yeah.
You know, having that and then going home to a home where there was so much tumultion.
Yeah.
I didn't know where to go. And so all I did know what to do was to cry.
Yeah.
And I guess there was a part of my spirit that was just like, I need to learn something else. And so with that, like that crying and that yearning, I needed something different, and then I started a spiritual quest, you know, when I was in high school, like looking for deeper answers, and I left the country. I needed to run away, and it was with that, like that deep yearning to want something more and bigger, that I started traveling, and then the world started opening up, and every time I learned something, you know, part of the pain started to heal,
Yeah.
and I started to like play again.
Yeah.
I started to feel confident, and it was a whole like spiritual transformation. It was this whole spiritual
Yeah.
transformation, and so, you know, when people look at me that now, they say, well, she didn't have bad experiences. Like,
Yeah,
how
you
could
seem
she?
so confident. Yeah.
Well, how did she learn this? It's like, because this is, you know, I guess my gift.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had to heal my self-confident issues when I was with my first relationship. I brought all of that in, and every day I was so needy. I was like, do you love me? Do you love me? You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
do you validate me?
Yeah, exactly.
And it was so hard for him, and we were together for a long time, but
7 years?
7 years, and it took a toll, but yet at the same time, we were both so young that we traveled together and we experienced life. So there was two gifts involved. We got to travel together and experience, and that was where I learned how to play.
Yeah.
And then, you know, some of the healing of, you know, like my heart and my childhood started to happen, and you know, when we broke up, I really had to learn how to love myself in a new way, because I was dependent on him for love.
Yeah.
And so the breakup propelled me to go out in the world and say, okay, I can't depend on him for love anymore, which he was that person for those 7 years.
Yeah.
And I started, you know, that quest, you know, was still in my heart, so I went to live in other places and developed that self-confidence, developed that interplay and that sensuality, that connection to my body. And by all means, it's been hard. It's been this whole challenge and this awakening, because it's something that I need to nurture every day. You know, even this morning, you know, I had a big cry and there was a big release. And people
Is
don't.
this before or after I emailed you?
Before.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it's something I said.
No, it wasn't. But for me, it's something that I think everyone needs to cultivate every day. You know, they see, oh, okay, she is beautiful on the outside. I'm like, but it took me a long time to get here, to acknowledge and appreciate myself, to love myself,
Yeah.
to feel confident in my own skin. And this takes daily practice.
Yeah.
It takes daily practice. And then when, you know, I share my work out into the world, I think I can relate to people if I share the personal story, and if I don't share the personal story, they look at me and they say, well, she's young and beautiful, she hasn't had life experiences, and I'm like, that's bullshit, because